Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz gave his speech at CPAC on Friday evening. And during his speech, he actually boasted, he bragged about the fact that he has made life for his fellow Republicans in Congress a living hell. Basically, based on what Matt Gaetz said during this speech, which I will read to you in just a moment, his whole job in D.C. is just to create chaos. That's it. I'm just there to F stuff up. Here's what Matt Gaetz said. In Congress, I'm often excoriated, smeared, derided for exposing a corrupt system that has been weaponized against we the people. I've made it a living hell for the swamp rats, and many of them are retiring now. In fact, CNN just ran an article blaming me for their departures. You're welcome. Truth is, we can't save the nation with the current Republican team. We have to get tougher, smarter, and we need newer, bolder voices in the United States Congress. So if you're out there campaigning and running as a Paul Ryan or Kevin McCarthy Republican, my message to you is this: they don't work here anymore. Now, for the record, 23 Republicans have announced that they will not be seeking re-election this year. That does not include Kevin McCarthy, who ended his career at the end of 2023. So we have more than 24 Republicans at this point who have said, screw this, I'm out. Which, by the way, definitely screws over the Republican Party. Because instead of having an incumbent now running in a race, even if it's in a deep red district, you now have an open seat, which is far more expensive for you to run. And by the way, you're out of money as a Republican Party. You got $8 million in the bank to, defend 435 House seats and try to take back the Senate and win the presidency. You're not going to be able to do that with $8 million. So good job bragging about that, Matt, because your party is in complete shambles. And your response is, you're welcome? You're taking on the swamp rats in D.C.? I would love to know what you've done. I am one of your constituents, and as I've repeatedly said, you've literally done nothing throughout your entire career. Not just not for the district, I'm talking about not for the country at all. You haven't taken on the swamp. The one thing you've done, and I will applaud you for this, is you teamed up with AOC to bring forth legislation that bans congressional stock trading, something that needs to happen. But it hasn't passed. So you can't put that feather in your cap yet, bud, because you didn't actually do it. You teamed up with somebody far smarter than you who probably wrote the legislation, kind of like a group project in school. She probably did all the work and you sat there and took all the credit. And in the end, y'all still didn't pass it, unfortunately. So that doesn't count as a victory. And then outside of that, how have you taken on the swamp? What have you done? I genuinely, honestly want an answer for that. I want somebody to go up to Matt Gaetz and say, hey, you talk about taking on the swamp all the time. Show me an actual real accomplishment to your name that you did, not just joining on with somebody else, but something you personally did to clear the swamp. Nothing. He has done not a damn thing. And he's out there acting like a conquering hero. Sitting there patting himself on the back, telling the crowd, you're welcome for that, by the way. All you've done is create chaos for your friends and allies to the point where they now hate you so much that they're getting ready to release an ethics committee report in the coming months that might end your career. Not just as a politician, it could end any career you may want to have after you leave Congress. So you haven't drained any part of the swamp. You haven't gotten rid of any swamp rats. You have no accomplishments to your name, but you're popular, which I think at the end of the day is the only thing you ever wanted. Probably struggled a little bit with popularity, I imagine, through high school and college, and this is your way of making up for that. You don't care what kind of attention you get as long as you get the attention. So that's why you're out there creating chaos and making Congress completely dysfunctional, not because you're draining the swamp, but because you desperately want people to know your name.